Hello and welcome to Last Level Gamescast. I'm Jason. That's Phil. Say hi, Phil.
Hey.
That's Var. Say hi, Var.
How's it going?
How you guys doing?
Hanging out.
Good.
Doing good.
Good. This is our podcast where we talk about video games and video game news. It's our weekly one. This week we've got a good amount of stuff that happened in the past week. So how you guys been? What games you been playing lately?
So,
Very ominous start.
I don't know how to put this, but I may or may not have started playing WoW again.
Down the rabbit hole.
So that's a thing in my life.
So are we gonna lose you for like a couple weeks?
I am no longer making commitments to times.
Proud of you,
I'm
buddy.
just gonna kind of, see where the world takes me. See how far and dark this gets.
One world in particular.
Oh God, yeah.
How's it feel to be back?
It's interesting because they changed so much since I last played, because it's been 4 years, 3 years since I played. So they've changed so much. So it's quite interesting, and it's still like that fresh and new experience.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do to not let myself down that rabbit hole is, like, I'm not going to join a guild. I'm not going to try to, like, meet people and make friends on it, because I know, like, that is, man, you want to talk about a slope. Like, that's where that slope starts. Like,
The ultimate commitment, a
as
guild.
soon as you're like, yeah, I could be on 9 o'clock on Thursdays, like, you're done. It's over. So that's what I'm trying not to get to. I just don't want to hit that.
Yeah, I was never like really into too many guilds, but I understand that sense of commitment. Like when people used to get together, play like Call of Duties and shit like that. It's like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Even like Saturday night, people, other friends are just like, you want to go out and like go to a club? I'm like, nah, man. I gotta play some Call of Duty. I got people that rely on me.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, when you're like,
It's the best
you're
part.
doing it on such a basis that a night comes along. Hey man, where's Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, plans.
Is he
man.
dead?
Yep.
Damn.
He doesn't exist outside this game. Fuck are you talking about? Oh yeah, that's a real life thing.
Even that connection you feel to people that you really don't even know outside of work
Yep.
and stuff like that, or like your normal life. It's like, I gotta get on, you know. But good luck with that. Have fun.
I think you should join everything, man.
Yeah, you should just go 0 to 100. Just
Yep. You can't half-ass it, man. You gotta go all in. I'll make another account. Join your guild too.
Do you feel like Var's like that quote unquote angel on your shoulder?
Angel, yeah, that's what we're gonna fucking call it.
Hey man,
Such an angel.
That's good.
I think everybody needs a little push, and I give you that push.
He's like
Yeah.
shoving you off the fucking thing.
Fuck that. He's like, I mean, the needle's near your arm. Let me just stick it in for
Yeah, here you go.
You're hesitating, baby.
you. Just do it.
He's challenging your integrity.
Yeah.
What about you, Var? What you been playing?
I just beat Stick of Truth, and it's way funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with that game. That was good. And I've been playing Warframe. New update. Good game. Try it.
How you liking the update? Like, what did they do differently?
They never did before, but now they have cinematic cutscenes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And
I didn't expect that.
It's doing big things.
Yeah.
They revamped the the loadout and the outlook of your ship that you're in. It's just pretty. Like, it's a pretty game, and they added stuff to it, and I'm enjoying.
So is there like a more in-game content too? Is it like a
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All the updates I remember, they add a new Warframe 2 that you can.
Is this a good time for me to jump into Warframe?
Yes. Just avoid the world chat no matter what you're thinking about looking at, don't ever look at the world chat.
Well, that's any MMO. Do you remember?
Yes.
Far,
This
did
is
you
true.
play WoW?
Briefly. I didn't like it.
Were you any part of Baron's chat? Have you ever heard of Baron's Chat?
No.
Dude, let me tell you, some shit went down in Baron's Chat. It's a zone, and for some fucking reason, even like high level players would go hang out there, and just things were said, and people were offended. It just never. Oh.
Yeah. But that's
the in-game chat?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you normally use something else like raid call or something?
Well,
like,
you could
you just
could
privatize
stay away
it
from the chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Gotcha.
That's the thing, and there's different, like, the world chat in Warframe.
Yeah.
Is an option you have to go to.
Oh, okay.
It's immediately going to bring you to either your clan or your squad. If you're in the squad, it's going to put you in squad. If you're just in your clan, it's going to put you just in clan. If you're in an alliance, you'll have the option of being, like, clan is a group of alliances. Throwing out a lot of terms at you. I know.
It's cool. To me, like, clan squads are the same thing, but...
Yes.
Yeah.
But your clan is the bigger group that you're in. Your squad is the group you're in for a mission.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yes. So you just have to select that. And if you go to the world chat and say something like, I'm new, don't expect to have any fun with the game.
Oh.
No, yeah, that doesn't work in any MMO.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, like, they need new people to sustain its growth. Or to sustain the base.
Companies are aware of that.
Right, companies
do not care.
They're like, this is my game. Get the fuck out. Like, legit, that's like the attitude. They're like, oh, you don't know how to do that? Well, it's because you're a piece of fucking shit and you should kill yourself. And you're like,
Yes.
I'm lost. I'm sorry. Like,
and there's a recruitment channel too for, like, you know, doing specific missions.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you go there and say you're new, people will block you.
Oh.
No, that makes sense.
Because they don't want to carry. They don't want to carry somebody and, you know, worry about that instead of having fun.
That happens in WoW with, like, the dungeons. Like, they could be. This is the dumb part. Is like they could be starter dungeons. They could be the shit you're supposed to do like right when you hit that level, and you go and you're like, hey, I'm new. I don't know what you're doing. And then you're like, why was I vote kicked? What the fuck just happened? And it's because literally people are like, I ain't got time for that shit, noob.
Some people are looking for new people, just
to take advantage of.
Well, not just to take advantage of them. Like, I've been playing for years, and if you've been playing for months, you don't like playing with me because I have all the shit you don't have.
Yeah.
If you've been playing for months and Jay is new, you'll love being with Jay because you get to show him all the shit he doesn't have. Some people just want to pick up new people to be like, now look at me. Fuck the mission. Keep staring at me. Sexy, ain't it?
I couldn't do that. So you just sold me on not playing that game.
I tried.
Or any MMO, should I say?
Whoa.
Now he gets offended. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's relax with the any MMO shit. I thought downloading Elder Scrolls.
Oh, for the weekend? Yeah, I don't know now.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
Are you gonna kick me?
You know what he's gonna? I've been through this.
You?
Saturday afternoon. I'll be on. Sun came up, man. Sunday morning.
Jay, you gonna do that?
I work both days, so I don't know.
Is that what your life's like? Is that what you've become?
Yes.
In your old married age?
I've always been like that. He just told you.
Yeah.
I've always been that way.
He doesn't want to do it, something will keep coming up. And keep coming up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, man. Fuck you.
We're going to get into the news now.
Yeah.
Change directions. So let's go over the news for the week. First things first. You guys like Bethesda? You guys like Fallout? Yeah?
Yeah.
In general?
It's all right.
So some good news out of Bethesda is that they're going to be opening up a Montreal office now with about like 40 employees. I saw this on Games Radar. And possibly maybe more mobile games, but they kind of left it open-ended. What do you guys make of it? Are you excited about it? Is it a good news kind of scenario?
It's better than a closing, right? I mean,
it's vague. It's too vague to be like, oh, I'm amped, but it's like, oh, you're giving people jobs instead of layoffs.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah. That's the most of it. I mean, it kind of contradicts a little bit what they said before. You know, they said the thing about not making more mobile games.
Yeah.
Or at least not to get our hopes up for like more mobile based on like game releases. But We'll see.
So like one part of the article, the mobile thing, I just kind of threw in, but they said it could be for anything, for the DLC that they're trying to push out for another game, or just working on the next Elder Scrolls Oblivion 6, maybe.
Do you want that?
You said that you didn't want you don't want another Fallout after this.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you want another Oblivion?
Wrong with you?
Nah, after that Fallout, I'm good. Unless they do something drastic to improve it. Like, that engine is so beaten into shit. I'll tell you this. I like the Skyrims, right? The Oblivion type game, more than I do like the Fallout. I like the fantasy setting better.
Scrolls. You like the
Elder Scrolls, sorry. Yeah. I like those games better, hence why I played Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. To me, it's the Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. Like, I don't know.
You actually felt that way going from
I didn't.
Oblivion to Skyrim?
Oh.
No. But I don't know what they're going to do differently or better to make it not feel the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm confused because
that's exactly what they like. We didn't have an understanding of what they were going to do to make Skyrim different from Oblivion.
Yeah, so hopefully they can.
Exactly.
But what I don't want is Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, Far Cry 3 to Far Cry 4. I don't want just a bigger experience on the same thing. I don't.
I get that. To touch on his point, it's one of those things like when I think about Oblivion to Skyrim, for me that was a huge jump. Mm-hmm. From Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, it felt more of an enhancement than a jump, if that makes sense. Like they were adding stuff on, and you can tell certain things were changed and updated, but it still kind of felt like just a super high-end up-res Fallout 4. It didn't feel too different. It didn't feel too different from its predecessor, whereas Skyrim felt really different to me than Oblivion did.
Yeah.
From Oblivion, you know what I mean?
And then even that, the biggest difference in Fallout 4, they made not essential, the settlements.
What do you mean? Well, you can put a lot of time into them, but you don't have to.
But even
it was very redundant.
Even if you do, what does it get you?
Yeah. Just happy faces all around.
Yeah. Like, literally, that's what it gets you. That's it. I don't know. Yeah. It seemed very whatever. Moving on. Sorry. I get distracted.
So next up is so this was also on Games Radar. It looks like Nintendo NX may possibly, they filed another patent, another nice little plan that they've
a little picture.
Yeah, that they've decided to somehow release that looks like the Nintendo NX could possibly use like sharing other nearby, I don't even know how to explain it. You might be using someone else's console to help your performance of your NX. I don't know if that's exactly how we should look at it, but that's kind of how they pitched it, where it's to help with processing power, improve it. Nearby NXs could be used. That's what the patent looked like. What do you make of it, Phil? You're a Nintendo guy.
Yeah. So I love Nintendo, but I don't know. I didn't look at it that way. So the patent is very nondescript.
Yes.
But to me, it more sticks to what they're already telling us, right? So they're telling us that it's going to be a hybrid console, and they told us that, first of all, they didn't tell us any of this shit, right? This is stuff we've leaked or found out or kind of thought. It's going to be a hybrid console, and to me, the diagram looks more like you have your main console, and then you plug in your whatever that next piece is, and you plug it in, and then that adds to the graphics, that adds to the processing power of it. So it would be as if you plugged in your 3DS to your Wii U, and your 3DS processor and graphics chip helped the Wii U run better and push better pixels and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that seems a lot more practical, and if they could do something like that, that'd be interesting.
It'd be huge.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where we wonder, like, what that initial processor is going to be. Like, what's it going to, you know what I mean? Like, what's it going to push out by itself? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked before. We're sitting at later in the generation, so same processors, probably cheaper, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They got a lot to prove with it. So
yeah, we'll see. So next thing on the list is you guys like value in whatever you buy, right?
yeah,
Right.
big fan.
So Polygon did a really good like setup of just overviewing the Xbox games for gold for the past year and PlayStation Plus's monthly free games. I'm just gonna go through it really quick. So they based a lot of this stuff on the Metacritic scores of the games, and the average for the Xbox is, now they split it between Xbox One and Xbox 360. I did the math on that; it was pretty easy. But the average for Metacritic was 75, and some notable games were IDARB, which Phil, you and I played. It was a lot of fun. Good game. Castle Storm, I haven't played that. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, solid game. You know, especially for free. I would. I paid for that and I was pissed off, but if I got it for free, I'd play it. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, VAR, you and I like that.
I did indeed.
If you're just listening to this, Phil's just shaking his head at that. How to Survive Storm Warning Edition.
Good game.
Yes, a lot of fun. It's one game I want to go back to play, but I don't know if I ever will. And Phil, you need to play State of Decay.
I don't even know what that is.
I really do.
I don't even know what that is.
I really do.
Man.
That was on the NES, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
People like you.
Next up is a Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Another great game. Great game. Then the last three are Valiant Hearts, Walking Dead Season 1, and Super Guacamelee Championship Edition. Yes,
that was a good one. That was a very good one.
Yes.
A lot of couch co-op.
Yes. It was a lot of fun. So the PlayStation one, overall the Metacritic average was actually pretty much the same, 75. Yeah. And
surprise.
Notable games for the PlayStation Plus were Infamous First Light, which VAR, I know you played.
Mm-hmm.
You like the Infamous series, right?
Yes.
Where would you rank that? Is it not enough for you to say it's...
That's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
That's because it would be the lowest ranked one.
Because of content?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, that's putting a standalone that's basically a DLC isn't fair.
Yeah.
But
it's a good game though, right?
It's good.
Yeah, yes. Okay. That's what matters. As long as it's good. Next up is a Swapper, and I never played that.
No. I'm too dumb.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Seriously, I tried.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't fucking get it. I'm gonna play something else.
That's one where you just make yourself literally teleport or something.
But you gotta like do it differently and.
So Transistor's also on the list.
Yeah.
Tried it. Was not a fan.
Same here. I couldn't get into. Like the movement was weird.
I didn't like the combat system was confusing for me.
Yeah.
At least initially, I started getting the hang of it, but by that time I was so frustrated with it, I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I didn't like I liked the music, I just didn't like the aesthetic look. Like I wasn't a fan of it. Rogue Legacy is also free. Yes,
it's fucking amazing.
Phil's
so many hours.
New Game Plus that 7 times?
Yeah, I think I stopped. And the fucked up part is I stopped. It wasn't even like I was like, oh, I hate this game, I'm done. I was like, I need to play other shit at this point. Like, but yeah, it was like New Game Plus 7, and as soon as it's weird though, as soon as you get it, you just fucking go. Yeah. Because I never thought I was gonna beat the game to begin with, and then I'm like, I'll never beat Plus, and I'm like, I have to play other fucking video games. Like I can't do this anymore.
That's good. Yeah, Rogue Legacy was one of those games where it really, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Now, full disclosure, I never finished it, but I just suck at those kind of games. So it's like one of those things where you can't use me as a barometer.
Terrible human being. Got it.
Next up, Valiant Hearts, which was also a good game, and it was also on the Xbox One. Super Guacamelee was also there. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes was also there. See a pattern here, don't you?
Yeah.
Rocket League was free.
Great game.
Yes.
Great fucking game.
And I don't care what anybody says. That was not on anyone's radar.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's amazing.
Did you ever see the game it's based on?
No.
So there's an actual like first Rocket League, I guess. It's terrible. Is the easiest way to put it. Like, it's funny. It's actually a good definition of less is more because like it tried to pack everything into it, and it played like shit and it looked like shit, and then Rocket League just fucking hit that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Of like you can do just enough. I don't
know. The last three, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which you've played, right, Phil? Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. Super Time Force Ultra, that game you guys need to play. It's a lot of fun, and it makes fun of itself, makes fun of other people. It's hilarious.
That's offensive.
I'm sorry, but it's funny. And then last game is Walking Dead Season 2, which I mentioned this to you guys. I got pissed off. I was going to finish Walking Dead Season 2, but I got pissed off because I bought Walking Dead Season 2 right before it went free.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened to me the year before with Walking Dead Season 1. So out of spite, I just didn't finish the game. I was like...
You showed them.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, man, you did it.
Took away from my own experience. But
show the man that you're weird, I guess. I don't know.
So in a nutshell, it's pretty good quality games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the price, like holy fuck, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially since you can get like the Microsoft full year if you're looking for 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah. $30 easy. They have it all the time, all the different websites.
Yeah.
Granted, you're not walking into a Walmart or store like that and paying that price.
Yeah.
But if you just look online for a minute, $30, no problem.
Yeah. Fair enough. So next up is we're going to talk about VR, everybody's favorite topic right now.
Yeah.
Levar's favorite topic.
Yeah, I heard he pre-ordered one, right?
Yeah, right. Like 3 of them, 3 different sets.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. So the HTC Vive, which is the main one that Valve's kind of supporting, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like their Steam machine, though.
Yeah. So the HTC Vive is said to be released commercially in April. They actually put a month on it.
Yeah.
So I went back to look to see if any other VRs really had a specific even month. And for the most part, they don't. So PlayStation VR is supposed to come out in the first half, quote unquote, of 2016. And the Oculus Rift is set to release in the first quarter of 2016.
Yeah. So
theoretically, Oculus Rift could make it to market first. But looks like the Vive might be the one. Hopefully it doesn't crash and burn.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I was kind of shocked we went in and out of PSX without
a date.
So VR was there, right?
Yes.
And they had games announced.
They had a keynote address, like they had a whole press conference about it.
I expect a date.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a price. Didn't really expect that, but I was expecting a better date. I don't know. But half of me thinks VR is going to be this thing that takes off and kills everything. The other half of me is like, it's going to be 3D, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What scares me the most is that I almost wish they waited a console cycle to bring this up.
Yeah.
Like I wish it was PSVR with your PlayStation 5 or whatever, just with a console cycle, because I don't know. Why make a game for 5 million people when I can make a game for 45 million people,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's
probably the pressure of the market, somebody's going to beat you to it. So, you don't want to be assuming that someone else is promising to hold off if you are, and then they just beat you to market anyways.
What do you think, Jay? Which one do you get?
So it's hard for me because I know a lot of them are geared towards the PC. The PlayStation VR seems more practical for me. I just don't know if I'm going to do it, especially like right away. Like I think the games that we've seen, and we'll talk a little bit more about like the games we saw at PlayStation Experience, but the games we've seen, I haven't sat there and like really said, okay, this is the one that's gonna make me buy VR. You know, they mentioned the I forgot the name of that championship game, the mech sports one. That one's interesting.
Yes. The rigs.
Yes, rigs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rigs. That was interesting to me, but like, you know, seeing the other stuff that's like kind of with it, I'm not sold yet, and it feels so like in limbo. And you know, they talk about it like, okay, you have to experience it.
No.
But like your average consumer is not going to get a chance to experience it, right? But then you're going to ask them to shell out $300 for it. You know what I mean? $200 for it. It's just it's kind of a stretch, I think, and I think people are under the impression that this is the time that VR is here. Mm-hmm. And the more like I see, the more I'm worried that it's going to miss its mark, and then it's not going to have the opportunity it was everyone was expecting it to have, at least not initially, and then it's going to hurt, you know, certain companies.
So what can they show you? What can they do as a company, marketing wise, to get you on board? What would have to happen for that?
First thing I would say is I need to know a price. I don't.
Well, okay, so price aside, right? Because
but that's part of marketing, right? Because if they don't,
it is.
If it's not reasonably priced, even more so, you lose me.
No, I get that. I get that. But let's just say it's reasonably priced. So we already know it's going to be a bare minimum 300, right? Yeah. So Sony came out and said it's going to launch like a console. So that puts you 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Let's say 300. But even at that price, I don't think right now you're a day one buyer.
Yeah.
What do they have to show you, or what has to happen for you to kind of swing into that?
So like I mentioned, games like Rig, where it's like a first-person experience, I think, you know, we tend to think of like first-person shooters as probably the more like realistic thing to happen that people are going to enjoy it with. But I think something more along the lines of like the HoloLens is something that really grabs me, like where you can do the top-down kind of experience. And, you know, the stuff they did with Minecraft, I think is amazing. And,
yes,
you know, I know you both like kind of RTSs a little bit, so you know,
I like RTS. That's the other guy.
But I don't think like's a strong enough word for that far.
That would get me into RTSs. Yeah,
that would be amazing for RTS.
Yeah, like you need to show it to me with games that I think to myself like, oh, I could play this with, you know, I could really enjoy this with VR, because right now I'm seeing a bunch of games that I have no interest in.
But that's obviously my stance on this is that I'm not excited for it at all.
Yeah.
And a part of that is because it doesn't have that wow factor for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the release of every console and the way they present it is not to tell you, just trust us, it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's to show you this is why you have to buy it. Mm-hmm. They show you either graphics that you've never seen before or gameplay that's faster, fresher, whatever have you, that makes you instantly go, this is a must. If you don't have that wow factor, why is you
so how can they so how can they convince you it is? What's your thing that makes you go like, oh shit, I'm in?
I still think the HoloLens, like what they do with that.
You have to give me one. You have to get demos out there. Like at some point in time, you have to either at malls, GameStops, however you want to do it. Yeah. I have to see this. I have to see why people are telling me this is as great as it is.
Yeah.
And you have to give me some content from somebody I trust, some developer or whatever have you I trust, that makes me go, like what they did with consoles essentially. Like, oh, Halo's so beautiful, you can only play it on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to give me something to that level that makes me
you know
go,
what
I need this.
I think would be good. Sorry to cut you off. But you know what I think would be good? Something like they show, because they could probably do it with this game, although, you know, it probably takes a lot of work, but something where, and it doesn't have to be like Uncharted, but imagine like Uncharted where it's a third person view, but because it's 3D, you see like bullets kind of flying by, you know, and, you know, explosions going off and things like that, where it's like that kind of stuff. Stuff like I can't really envision sports as much, because I think like especially basketball or hockey, that'd be too fast paced.
Yeah. Well, I think I would love a sport, but not
which sport?
I would take any, but not as a not as a fuck like an X, not like as an all team mode. As like the be the pro, I would love that.
Like your first person?
Yeah. So like you are that pro, you are be a pro, because to me like I think it'd be crazy hard to like pitch the ball. Let's baseball for instance, pitch the ball and then switch to the outfielder, throw the ball like that. I feel would be really jarring.
Yeah.
But if I was just the pitcher, that the only thing I was worrying about was maybe getting the ball over the plate and then watching to see if I have to back up to a base, I think that'd be amazing. Same with like Madden. Like imagine you're a wide receiver and you run the fucking route.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds
I
exhausting.
think that would be cool.
Or just as a thought with as you said, baseball, nuances of your hand actually dictating the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Instead of pressing circle, pressing square, or Y, X, B, actually you messing up a pitch even.
Well, but here's the deal. So Vive and Oculus, I don't know what PlayStation VR has said because they really haven't said much about it, is they come with controllers at first.
Yeah.
Like a regular
You're
Xbox
gonna have to have
One
something,
controller.
right? Because I know like the PlayStation VR is all I've seen it with is the Move.
So the thing that's been really cool is Oculus has showed off this other controller that actually can sense your finger movements and can sense your wrist movements and all that stuff. But that's not what's getting originally shipped with the console.
Yeah. See, this is not the time for telling me what you have and what I won't get.
Well, and that's why I go back to the idea that like I don't know that I know we're all like the general consensus is that VR is here and it's exciting, but for what we're specifically talking about, I still don't think it's there yet. You know what I mean? Because like those concepts that we're talking about like are amazing. Like we're gonna get into the PlayStation experience. I guess we can start talking about it now.
The games, right?
So one game, Rez, which was like an acid trip to me. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on? But they had a full bodysuit.
Yeah.
That was just like vibrating to the beat, and like I was just like, all right, I don't know how many shrooms I'd have to do to enjoy this, but it looks interesting.
The answer is not 0.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, it's exciting, but I just don't know. Like, I don't know with the amount of money that they're putting into this, if the games can meet the expectations that we as consumers want and as developers want to get to us. You know what I mean? At least not yet. So maybe that like what Phil was saying about it, the fact that it's going to come out with, maybe it comes out like PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 or something like that, that's the actual that's the actual VR set that we've been talking about for so long. And that's what 8 years from now, 6 years from now?
No. We're 3 years in. 5 years?
Maybe.
4 or 5 years. That's it.
Okay.
Look at a general 7-year console cycle, and then 2 to 3 years for it doing its tail end dying. So it's only 5 years away. 4 years. Yeah. That's not too bad. So with that said, which one do you buy?
I think it's more, for me fiscally, it makes more sense for me to buy the PlayStation VR. Okay. More practically, I should say, because I have a PS4. It'll work with the PS4. I don't have to worry about like if my specs on my computer can run Oculus Rift and stuff like that. But I'd say that would be, if I had to pick a VR, it'd probably be that one.
Do you think they bundle it with the Move and the camera, right? Because they have to give you the VR headset, 2 Move controllers, and a camera.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure all that shit out. Yeah.
Right?
I agree. That'd be.
And then so
I have
a bundle
but
for
then
each?
Yeah, because
if you already have,
I don't know if they can bundle it. Well, they can obviously clearly have a bundle, but I don't like. I have a camera. You know what I mean?
So you don't need that part.
I'm wondering like how they're gonna do that. Like, it's 3 separate bundles. Like one, if you have Move controllers and no camera. If you have a camera, no Move controllers. If you don't have either one.
Or do you think they make you buy the controllers separate? So they do one with camera, one without, and then you just buy Move controllers if you need them separately.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
Huh. I didn't think about that.
No.
Because they need the fewer the SKUs, the better.
And
they need to not confuse people.
And these are the I'm sure these are the conversations that they're having. That's sending this, setting it back a little bit. Like nothing's set in stone because they're trying to figure out how practical they can make it for consumers.
Okay, so both of you.
Yes.
A yes or a no? Do they hit their launch windows?
Ooh, that's a good question.
All of them.
All of them?
Vive will.
Okay.
I don't think Rift does. I don't think PlayStation VR does. I still think PlayStation VR is going to get released in the fall.
Okay, VAR.
Pressure's on, VAR.
I have faith in PlayStation.
So you think they're going to hit
I just don't
first
know
half?
how I just don't know how well it'll be. That's what scares me.
Okay, so you think like they're like, fuck it, release it. Either way, it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if
That
that's
worries me.
said, let's say they hit these, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say they hit them. Which one wins?
I can't tell yet.
Which one sells? Well, what do you think?
Well, practically speaking, so Microsoft technically doesn't have one that they can pair as this is the Xbox One. This is the one to use on Xbox One.
Well, so they put their chips behind the Rift, right? So the Rift's going to come with an Xbox One controller.
Yes.
And the Rift you're going to play Xbox One games stream to your PC and then stream to your Rift. That's what they're promising.
So does your PC need to have certain specs to
Yes.
meet that requirement?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Your PC has to be up to snuff to run the Rift. Because it works just like the Xbox streaming does, but then it gets outputted to the Rift.
Yeah.
So which you think PlayStation VR?
Yeah, I mean, if we're just basing it off of what we know right now, it would make sense to that, or maybe Vive.
Yeah, because first to market.
Yeah, that, and you're removing a step, so like it's just PC and headset, not game like console PC and headset, like you're saying about the Oculus Rift. You know what I mean?
Well, that's to use it with the Xbox One. You can still use the PC headset.
But I'm saying, like, if I'm an Xbox One user and a PlayStation 4 user, and I'm trying to figure out which one I'm gonna get, if I remove a step, you know what I mean? Based on what we know, I would say the VR is in more position to be more successful right now, in my opinion.
VAR, which one do you think?
Oh, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any chance of this becoming the next move or the next storybook for PlayStation?
Yes.
Yeah. I absolutely see that potential.
I just think it'll have more lasting. It'll last longer.
Well, I think it'll get reiterated.
I can see it getting better. Yep. Whereas like the move kind of just disappeared. And it was just like there, and then it's like, we have all this great stuff.
Well,
what's that thing? It's the Move. Why'd you have to mention that? Like, and then they look at the Move and they're like, holy shit, we got VR. We can be proud of this again.
Guys, it worked. It worked just like I predicted 10 years ago. Yeah, okay. So you guys are basically on that PlayStation tip, just backed by the numbers.
Saw that.
Well, not just that. I think PlayStation can use this period of a few months to announce something to really, because I can't see it being bundled with rigs, but announce something to really blow your mind as a game and bundle it all together.
No Man's Sky.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my biggest fear with the PlayStation VR. We've touched on it. Is that it's gonna come out, the adoption rate isn't gonna be quick enough, and it just ends. So, like, when the Move came out, when Storybook came out, right, people didn't buy it immediately. And Sony abandoned it pretty quickly.
Yeah, they do that.
And I'm nervous that PlayStation VR is going to be like that, too, because...
They did that with the Vita.
A perfect example. Above and Beyond, so the other game that was announced for PlayStation VR was Ace Combat 7, as exclusive to VR, right?
Vom Bucket 7.
PlayStation VR, yeah.
Vom Bucket 7.
I don't...
It's a terrible joke, but I'm okay with it.
Fuck, man. I don't want to play that game. Anyway, whatever.
I like Ace Combat, but I can't do VR.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do that VR. We'll see.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Prove me wrong,
exactly.
Sony. Prove me wrong.
But here's the problem.
Into the danger zone. What?
Yeah.
wish.
So if I make a game, if I'm a developer and I make a game for PlayStation VR, can it go to the Vive easily? Can it go to the Rift easily? And if that's the case, then I don't know. I don't know how much Sony's gonna. So Sony's showing all its support, but they did that for the Vita. They did that for the Move. They even did that for the Storybook when they gave us that terrible E3 demo.
Yeah.
But
do you think competition will keep them in line?
Oh, that's the hope.
No. Okay. Competition has never kept Sony in line.
Okay.
They've corrected themselves.
Yes, they will correct themselves. I actually think that's more on players' feedback, though, than competition.
Okay.
I really think the PS4 was a pretty big ode to, like, Sony being like, all right, we fucking get it. You just want something that plays games. Like, we get it.
It goes back to, like, how do we get more people to buy this? We listen to what they have for feedback.
Right.
So it goes hand in hand, really.
So, I don't know. I personally, I'm more interested in the Rift.
Fair enough.
Not for what it's going to be immediately, but because I feel like once you get into the PC stuff, like mods, that kind of stuff can happen more. It's easier to develop for them in most cases. And then those second gen controllers, I'm going to call them a second gen controller for the Rift. I'm excited for those. I'm excited to see those and see how they actually function and work.
Fair enough. Okay, so since we're talking about VR and PlayStation experience, what we saw, do you guys ever play Ni no Kuni?
No.
So, like we've talked previously on our previous episodes, for me, that is the end of the PS3 life into the PS4. I fucking wanted to play it, and just my PS3 was gone by then. Like it was already away, and it's not something I was gonna take out. Like I only got so many ports and shit. I wanted to. If they released it remastered, I'd buy it in day one and fucking play it. I'm excited.
So Ni no Kuni 2 was announced.
I'm stupid excited.
I was very confused by the trailer. I've never played Ni no Kuni, but I've heard it's good.
It's very story rich, and it's very like the graphics are different. It's a complete removed from what you most of the time see.
Yeah.
And like I always love when people get the fuck away from the real, because I feel like we're in an arms race to like who can have the best hair on your arm when you're swimming through I don't know, a swimming pool while the world's blowing up behind it. Everything's post-apocalyptic. So I love when they take like graphics and that kind of thing and drop it into an art style, kind of like Xenoblade for the Wii U right now. Mm-hmm. So
that game looks pretty good. Like graphically
it's kind of shitty.
It looks good to me.
When you walk up to stuff, it gets like muted, that kind of thing. But it looks gorgeous because of the art direction and because of what they chose and how they chose to kind of implement it. It looks gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
And I'm always about like it's the same deal with like Wind Waker. I don't know. There's a bunch of other that did it, and that's one of the reasons I'm excited for them, because it's something that like I want it.
Yeah.
I want it.
So that was one of the things announced, and I was interested. I was very like perplexed though by the trailer, and then I was just like, it makes sense. It's a JRPG. It's a JRPG. That's why it made sense to me.
It's an actual JRPG.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey guys, let's remake this thing that we all love and turn it into a brand new thing that Phil's gonna hate and I'm upset about.
Yeah. So
we'll get into that next. I don't like this guy's tone.
Oh. So the next thing I was going to talk about was this new game that I'm kind of excited for, because we've kind of talked about our favorite past games that we want to see brought back. And I mentioned a game called Onimusha, and I was like, hey, I missed this. And this game called Nioh that they announced, which was originally a PS3 title, is going to come out for the PS4. And it's basically Dark Souls meets Onimusha. And if you think that sounds awesome, you're correct, because that sounds amazing. The trailer just blew me away. I was just like, this is exactly what I wanted. This is what Onimusha should have been. Like,
Yes.
when they hit that 3D wall, spectrum. But what did you guys think of Neo?
I'm excited.
Not the
I'm
Matrix.
in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
The exact same boat. I miss Onimusha. I like Dark Souls. It
You
looks
love
like
Dark
a blend
Souls.
of. I love Dark Souls. It looks like a blend of both, and it looks nice. It doesn't look like it's trying to be something. It looks like it has an identity and it's going through with it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Any excitement, Phil? None?
I don't know. I have to see more. They showed what I don't think it was gameplay. It looked mostly like rendered shit. So I'd like to see.
I thought some of it looked like gameplay, but
Yeah.
maybe I was
I
wrong.
need to see more.
Fair enough.
I need to see something else about it.
Interestingly enough, Capcom also decided to renew the trademark for Onimusha. So maybe we'll see another Onimusha. And as long as it's like original Onimusha and not like crappy Onimusha, which was like I think the third installment or fourth.
Yes. Third and fourth, everyone forgot.
With Gene Reno, our
Gene
boy
Reno.
from Mission Impossible and The Professional. Yeah, he was in Mission Impossible. I will always remember him as the guy that stabbed that chick with the knife in Mission Impossible, the first one.
I always remember
Spoilers.
him as the professional Leon.
Nah, man. Although I do remember, what's her name from that?
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Loved her.
Time.
Still do. And then it warmed my heart that she was in Star Wars. It's too bad she had to work alongside someone that she had no chemistry with. But that's neither here nor there.
Franchise killer.
So the last couple things that came out that were kind of interesting. One was obviously really more interesting than most things that came out, but the game Brutal. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what to make of that.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, it's cool that it's made with ASCII, but
Yeah.
it's interesting art style. It really is.
So my first
I
thought.
just don't know if I'm gonna be able to play that.
Yeah, my first thought was like, that's gonna be painful to look at for any sort of time, because like
They better have good music with that shit.
I don't think it'll matter. The players aren't like outlined.
Yeah.
It's hard to
and
follow.
So, yeah, like I don't know, whatever. I'm not excited for that at all. I get it. Like I completely understand what they tried to do, and I like, good on you.
Good on you. Good on you, sir.
Not for me. Like,
We'll see.
it's gonna hurt.
You're not gonna be forced to buy it. Jesus.
Are you sure?
It might be free on PlayStation Plus.
I got your back.
You don't think they'll show up and force me to buy it?
No,
Not this time.
not this time.
Oh, that's what I was banking on.
We're gonna save best for last,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to hear what you guys think of it. You guys happen to catch the Final Fantasy VII gameplay trailer? Gameplay movie trailer? Var, what'd you think?
I'm very excited.
You're very excited.
Very, very excited.
What did you like?
I love the original Final Fantasy VII.
What did you like about the trailer? What gets you excited?
Few things. One, visually it's stunning. Two, I am very pleased at what they did with Barrett, and I'm hopeful that he won't be a poor understanding of black culture as he was in the actual Final Fantasy VII, and that he speaks better English. But the gameplay was really pretty to me.
Yeah.
And as much as my inner child was like, hey, I remember this being...
That's not Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. As I remember there being a certain setup of how you play a Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
My current form is like, I played Final Fantasy 13. I liked it.
Yeah.
I can live with this. Give me more. And I want to see what they do with that platform. I want summons. I want abilities. Give me Final Fantasy VII today.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
We shall see. It looks like it's gonna. I wonder if they're gonna, because I don't know how long they said it was. They started developing it right after they announced it, or right before they announced it, right?
No, it had to be after.
Yeah,
the guy didn't even know he was working on it.
So I'm wondering if like how that fighting
Just
style.
hand him a piece of paper.
Sorry.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
The fuck? I'm going on vacation.
We already up-res that. What are you talking about? No, you got to redo the whole fucking thing. What?
What do you mean remake?
But, yeah, the combat system looks very, like Final Fantasy 13-esque, Kingdom Hearts-esque, where it's kind of like, free-flowing, fast-paced. There's no transition to a battle. It just happens. Pretty. Shit gets real.
Pretty.
It's getting a lot of heat, though. A lot of people are worried about it. Phil, what do you think? Where to begin, huh?
So I don't know really how to put this. I'm obviously not a fan. I get it.
Not a fan of nothing.
I get they're remastering it and changing it a lot. I don't understand the episodic thing. Which we just kind of got to see more of.
Yeah. You're talking about how they said it's going to be
episodic, but each is a full game.
Yes.
So I don't know what that means.
Very confused by that too.
But I get why they're doing it because they have to put something out before people forget about it. I just think I don't know. I like the old combat system. More and more games are actually moving away from a traditional JRPG combat system. So my hopes when this was announced was that they would at least stick to it somewhat. I understand changing it maybe to make it more fast-paced or do something different with it. But I was hoping they would stick to it more because it's funny. They're updating it and changing it because, well, there's a million JRPGs, and they're just updating it into what we are now getting a million of. So to me, I don't give a fuck. And that's also part of the reason I'm so excited for Ni no Kuni, because it still is that traditional JRPG. Whereas I'm.
Well, you haven't seen the gameplay yet, though. They ain't showing gameplay for that.
For what?
For Ni no Kuni.
No, they have not. So maybe they drastically change it too. I couldn't imagine they would, but maybe they do drastically change it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I was thinking about this. So let's say they say it's a complete game and it's episodic. Let's say they do 3 episodes of it. And that each episode is roughly 10 to 12 hours. Now, assuming that there's full content in there, like it doesn't just leave you hanging to the next episode, is that enough?
But what does that mean?
I know. I'm spitballing, man. I'm spitballing.
No. So that's my real problem. Is like.
You think it's gonna be different characters each time?
It could be.
Like one you play as Cloud, one you play as Barrett, next you play as Zach.
You know
boy Zach.
You know the other thing they said about it?
What?
They said that so there's more than one developer working on it. There's multiple developers, and they have different visions and different styles for the game. So my thought was that maybe the reason they went episodic was because they're going to be in different styles.
That terrifies.
That would ruin it for me.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I wish they would just fucking come out and like give something concrete.
They will. Let's wait.
The thing is, one of the reasons I'm this excited for this game is because over the years it's become more than a game. It's become a backstory for a movie. It had its sequel. There's so much and spinoff. There's so much tied into Final Fantasy VII as its own little entity now.
Yeah.
That they can do a lot with this game.
Yeah.
They can do a lot with this game because as a remake, you essentially can just take the brand of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
You can take the source material from the movies, from the games, and...
So, are you saying you think it's going to be like a culmination of everything Final Fantasy, like everything with a Final Fantasy label, a Final Fantasy VII label?
I don't know what that
Not
means.
everything, because I
do
not
part
believe
of Advent Children, part of Crisis Core, part of all those worlds that, and then just into this episodic soup.
When he
a
puts
part
it like
of me
that,
wants that really bad, and obviously I don't think they touched Dirge of Cerberus even though it wasn't as bad as people say.
Verge of Cerberus.
That's the one you hate, Phil.
The first person the shooter one?
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. That was terrible.
It didn't sound like that.
So terrible.
Didn't sound like that.
Yeah.
You want to make that?
It
Pull it up right now.
doesn't sound like that. I know it doesn't.
That's it. That's all it did. Ah, so bad.
It wasn't that bad. They tried something new and it didn't hit the mark for a lot of things. I really liked it.
So you like when people try new things?
No, I like what they did.
That's what I'm saying. It's going against the grain.
I like what they did.
Yeah, I think we gotta wait and see. I think
I want to see
for people to
high def
overreact
next.
though is for people to assume like it's gonna be the worst thing ever. It's already fighting against itself. It sucks. You know what I mean? Because it's like just let them.
Well, it fought against itself to begin with.
Yeah.
You're trying to fucking remake Final Fantasy VII. Like, you already took on a task that's the same as right now if they announced Half-Life 3, right? You're fucking stupid. Valve won't do it based on the fact that it will never be good enough.
Nope, it won't.
And this Final Fantasy VII remake's never going to be good enough either.
Yeah.
So
But that's the thing. Like,
It'll be good enough for me. I won't be that way with it.
a problem I have with a lot
we're
of the
gonna eat those
criticism.
words.
A lot of the criticism we hear about things
Yeah.
are sometimes based off of blatant ignorance. Like,
Okay.
I guarantee you there are people saying, oh, this won't live up to it, who have never played the original.
Yeah.
I guarantee that.
Okay.
I guarantee there are people who've never completed the game who want to tell you about, oh, it won't have the story. It's become this staple of, oh, it's the pinnacle of RPGs. It was the greatest RPG of all time. Da 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 da.
It's the Michael Jordan of RPG.
I don't
Exactly. It never missed a free throw. It never lost a game. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It had its flaws. It had its parts that just went on and on and on for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
You can work with it and give it to a new generation in a new way. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
The problem is if you're going to put it on a pedestal of blatant ignorance to what it actually was, because let's face it, the game was extraordinarily long.
Yeah.
It was long. I'm not going
It
to say
was-
extraordinarily long. For its time, it was a longer game.
Yeah.
Based
yeah.
off now, it is not a long
Well,
game.
that's
Really?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. What's your definition of long, Phil?
So, when I look at a game, if we're going to talk its like length,
Just give me a number.
I understand it can't be a number. I understand your thought of because
For RPGs,
if VAR put in 400 hours and got every item, that's not my definition. My definition is of the actual time it takes you to get through the story mode, of not getting every item and that kind of shit. So
you're talking about an average.
Yes.
So what would your average be for that game?
So I think a long just story mode, just that shit, not going off and getting every collectible and that stuff. A long game is what, like 50 hours? 40 hours?
Okay. I think that's
7 is not 40 hours. Just...
I think that's how much time I put into it. I don't remember though, honestly, because I know Final Fantasy X, I put 120, but I did everything in that game.
Right.
Yes.
But roughly, it was probably like 60, 50 to beat it, because I was almost at the end when I played on the Vita, and I was at like 43, 50, 44 hours.
I think Final Fantasy VII is a big game. Yes, it is not huge by any stretch of the imagination, though.
For its time, it was.
For its time, it was bigger, yes.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for now, it's not.
Well, and that might be, yeah, like I can see what you're saying, because that might also be a problem for them too, is like they had to make a big enough game, right? Like equivalent to this time now, not just make a short game that people are just going to run through, because maybe they think that it might live up to the height if it's more length, more content.
They haven't yet created a world like that in current graphics. They say they're going to do something like that. Well,
You mean Final Fantasy?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Like with Final Fantasy 13, open world-ish.
Well, they got 15.
Actually, what about the MMO?
But that's still you going from area to area. Remember, the layout for these games was you traversing the world.
Ow. You don't think the 13 is like a world?
I don't. I don't. I think it's sections of a world. It's mini maps to give you a bigger map. When the Final Fantasy formula before 10 was to give you a world that you traversed.
So I completely hear what you're saying, but I think that world you traversed was so small that it would be the same as a minimap now. So that would be like saying, yeah, you don't get through the world because you have to teleport here or teleport there or fly here or there.
Yeah.
To me, those worlds you're already in are the size of Final Fantasy as a world. And I understand for the time it was big and it was breathtaking, and I get it. But I'm saying comparative to now, because you're going to remaster it and go into it, I don't think it has that same grandioso.
Well, that's why they're changing the approach too, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's probably going to be sections. I don't think you're going to be able to traverse. I think it's going to be like kind of how what you see in 10 and 13, the idea of you moving from
but even that
different parts of the world, but
like,
really
me,
you don't
funnel.
see it.
Like instead of, but I'm not trying to. I know it seems like it's bad, but I'm not trying to put it in a bad way.
Yeah.
But it's essentially they give you a road that encompasses the world.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, because think about it, those two games, 10 and 13, and what they kind of tried to do with open world in 12.
Fuck that game.
But the environments were beautiful, and that was with that was with their that level of technology then.
Yeah.
And now to recreate the entire world of Final Fantasy VII is very exciting to me. Even if you won't have the complete open world to explore, but just traveling through the maps.
Yeah, I get that.
We'll see.
We shall see.
It's early.
Yes.
When do you think they released the first episode?
I'm going to say not 2016. Spring of 2017.
I think they announce fall of 2016 and delay to spring of 2017.
Yeah, that's kind of like I was going off that same idea. So
I think E3 they dropped 2016 in fall.
Yeah.
And then either cut something
They're
from
gonna
it
pull
to
the
get
Uncharted. They're gonna pull the Uncharted.
Or they drop
don't
it to
say
spring.
that.
Yeah.
Well, if it's episodic, who gives a fuck? You just put in the next piece. That's the part I don't get, man. I wish they'd just say it.
They will.
Fuck this episode. Because they're like, hey, it's a full game, but it's episodic. But it's a full game.
So it's like a season?
But
TV show?
Remember the system we were looking at where it was disc.
Yeah.
They could do that. I don't want them to do that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But they could do that.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Because remember the ending point of each of those discs was a kind of cliffhanger to the next.
Yeah, it's like put in the new disc.
Yeah.
But...
Do you remember the cliffhanger to one of them?
Yes.
R.I.P.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Wait, someone dies?
No, everyone lives.
Oh, okay.
I gotta go, guys.
But when they said it was a full game, I took it to mean like you start and end. Yes.
Yes, I
did not take it that you are gonna end looking at Midgar and the open world's on the next disc. That's not how I took it. I took it that you were gonna play the full game. Was one episode.
It'd be interesting if they did it that way,
so
though.
confused.
Yeah.
Maybe he said the wrong word.
Maybe.
But this early on, can you really hold everything they're saying to be absolute truths?
Game's gonna get canceled.
This guy, the dream killer.
Uproar.
I need to. Hey, if this happens, I want to see Var's face when he finds out.
Yes,
I can't miss that.
That's gonna be the.
You won't see my face because it'll be buried in something sobbing.
That's gonna be the header of the website.
Yeah,
just your head buried in a pillow.
This is my best friend, by the way.
Oh.
He wants the header to be me sobbing.
Yes,
just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think it's solid.
Yeah, it'll be worth it. Like, get a lot of traction with that. So I guess we'll wrap up from here, guys. Once again, this has been another episode of Last Level Gamescast, episode 12. Please let us know, what you think of the PlayStation experience, what you like, what you didn't like, what are your opinions on Final Fantasy VII Remake, and PlayStation VR and things of that. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.